Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. With I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. Better Off Dead, Thursday, October 2nd. We're definitely going to be ending it all here because the fucking Red Sox are going to be ending it all in the worst possible situation where they go up 1-0 against the Yankees and they're going to lose the fucking series to the Yankees. The Red Sox are not going to win tonight. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's over. They're not going to fucking win. I will probably be, I don't know, on the side of a bridge somewhere, not even paying attention to anything. I didn't want to even do anything last night. The Red Sox could have won it last night. That was the chance that they had to fucking win it. Eaton, I believe, on second with nobody out in the 8th inning. 2 outs. They don't send him home. What the fuck? He should just disobey the third base coach or whatever. Fucking run home. You're not going to score another run there. Fucking do it. Game could have been different. I mean, I know they gave up a run after that, but even if they did, it would have at least gone to extra innings last night, or at least would have gone into the 9th inning with still a chance to win the game at that point. Absolutely ridiculous. You have to just run home at that point. He probably would have scored, which at that point would have given the Red Sox a 4-3 lead. Red Sox never led in the game, but it was tied multiple points in the game, including in the 8th inning, obviously. Interestingly, the Dodgers are the only team that had the 2-0 sweep as they won again easily yesterday, which I'm not surprised by. I do have them in the World Series in my bracket. But what is interesting is that since the fucking COVID bullshit where the league changed all the rules, they changed the playoff structure during the COVID, because obviously you need to have a different wild card setup to avoid the virus, man. That's what it is. Since then, 12 of these wildcard series, only twice had the team that won the first game even lost the second game. So 10 out of the 12 series before this season had not even gone to a third game, and no team that has lost the first game has come back to win. So only twice did the team that won game 1 even lose game 2. And in those situations, both of those teams still wound up winning the third game. I would have to go look to see if both of those teams were indeed the home team. I'm guessing they probably were. But in this case, yeah, I think we're going to have at least one team that lost game 1 winning tonight. Likely the Yankees. One of the other teams might as well. Nate, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. I don't even, what is that? I don't know. DeJasper Totencrux, yeah. I'm a Horcrux, man. That's what it is. Which is the Horcrux is when you get when you have to pay the prostitute. I'm pretty sure. Let's get into today. I'm not gonna. I don't want this to be a long video, man. We have 3 baseball games today. As we said, 3 of these series have made it to a game 3. I'm going to give out 1 play in baseball. There is 1 college football game. There is an NFL game with some really ridiculous shit going on. Jeffrey, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Baseball, as usual, the first game up, although it's later this time at 3:08 p.m. Eastern. is going to be Detroit and Cleveland, the deciding game from Cleveland. As Cleveland won yesterday, which was my only play. I forgot to mention that. Hey, we went 1-0 on the show yesterday with Cleveland. Cleveland had a 1-0 lead for quite a while. Mize did better than I thought he would for Detroit. And then Cleveland took a 2-1 lead, and then they wound up winning 6-1 with an explosion late. But Cleveland was never losing in the game, so I'm pretty sure it was the right side. Whatever, we got the win there. Detroit, Cleveland. Cleveland does have the better bullpen, but they used 5 relief pitchers yesterday, so maybe a little bit of a concern there as Detroit only used 4. So Detroit's bullpen, debatably, is in somewhat better shape coming into this one than Cleveland's. Both are decent bullpens. Starting pitching matchup, and of course, Detroit has the better offense. I picked Detroit in my bracket to win this series and then lose to Seattle, so that may happen. I mean, I still think Cleveland is the public side here just because they're so hyped after how they finished the season, even though I think Detroit is still overall the better of the two teams because Cleveland really has a pathetic offense. But will Cleveland be able to win it here with this pitching matchup? They might. Jack Flaherty is pitching for Detroit. Not a great season for him. 4.64 ERA, 1.28 whip, although he's definitely a guy with playoff experience. If you think playoff experience matters, he has more of it than his counterpart in this game. Flaherty was on the Dodgers last year as well, so he won. He's a World Series winner. Last year he won with the Dodgers, I'm pretty sure. So he's definitely pitched in the postseason before. He's not as good on the road, 5.27 ERA. He did just face Cleveland twice in a row to finish the season. He had an okay month of September, 3.86 ERA, 19-7 strikeout walk ratio is not that good. He had 4 walks in the first of the 2 outings against Cleveland, which was at home. He held them to 1 earned run, though, in 5 innings. And then his last outing, he didn't even make it 5 innings. Did have 6 strikeouts, no walks in that game at Cleveland. So returning to the same scene here. His control was way better in that game, but he allowed 3 earned runs. Somewhat threw too many pitches, although they haven't really been overworking him or anything. But he's also a veteran, so I don't think that really matters that much. Generally, he actually does really well against Cleveland in 112 at-bats, 32-9 strikeout walk ratio, 209 batting average allowed, and 631 OPS. So he may be able to do well in this game. He's going up against Slade Ciccone, who is the lesser experienced of the two, or less experienced, I should say. Ciccone has pitched in the postseason, only in relief, I believe. 2 years ago for Arizona, he came in to a couple of games for them, which I think was the year they made the World Series, I think, and lost to Texas. Is that right? So he was on that team. He pitched a little bit, but I don't think he's made a postseason start in his career. He had a decent season, 4.3 ERA, 1.19 whip. He wasn't as good at home, though, 4.78 ERA. So both these pitchers are in the worst of their home road splits. He was decent in September, 26-6 strikeout walk ratio, 3.9 ERA. Not bad. He was a little bit back and forth, though, but he may have a little bit of an advantage because Detroit didn't see him. So you have Flaherty, who Cleveland faced twice in a row. This is going to be his 3rd start in a row against Cleveland, which could be a little bit of a disadvantage because they're just used to facing him. But as I just showed you, I mean, they've faced Flaherty a ton, so I don't know that that really matters. But Ciccone has not been seen by Detroit since May 23rd of this year. And Ciccone did do well in that outing, 6 innings. It was at Detroit, too. He allowed 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. Against Detroit overall, 38 at-bats, 8.3 strikeout walk ratio, 237 average allowed, but 793 OPS. That's a bit high. He's allowed 3 home runs to them, so they have hit him for a little bit of power. This is not going to be a game I really want to get involved in. The money is coming in on Cleveland, even though they are public as well, 65% of tickets, but it looks like legitimately the money is on the Cleveland side, 80% in the cash. They're up from -110 to -123 here. I'm not quite sure that I see it, man. Looking at those numbers there, Flaherty does at least have the better matchup numbers and more experience. It's a low total again, too, because it is the playoffs. Total of 7, 59% of tickets on the over, 86% of cash on the over. I mean, I might not disagree with an over because Cleveland, the better of the two bullpens, is pretty used up right now. Flaherty, not good numbers on the road. Ciccone, not good numbers at home. So I could see some arguments that this game might be a little bit higher scoring, but yeah, I don't want to touch it. The money is basically saying Cleveland, and I guess the over. But yeah, I don't even know if I want to give it a lean on it, to be honest. San Diego at the Cubs. Of course, this is a game 3 as well, as these all are. Cubs won game 1. San Diego bounced back with a win yesterday, 3-0. San Diego has the better of the two bullpens. The Cubs have the better offense of the two. San Diego, 3 relief pitchers yesterday. Cubs used 4, but kind of light usage, so some of those guys might be available again, especially Soroka was one of the guys they used, and he's been a starter, so he could certainly pitch again if they want him to. This pitching matchup is, I think, really hard to predict. Yu Darvish is pitching for San Diego. He did not pitch much this season, so he's at least somewhat fresh because he came back late after being injured for most of the season. He is a veteran, so both of these pitchers are veterans. I mean, they both have pitched in the postseason, I'm pretty sure, so they know what they're doing. They're not going to be intimidated by this situation. Darvish, 5.38 ERA this year, not good, but 1.18 whip is not that bad at all. He was not good on the road, though, 7.26 road ERA. This month, mediocre, 4.81 ERA, September, I should say. 26-4 strikeout walk ratio was good. So I always talk about this with Darvish. Like this year, his command numbers have actually been better. Throughout his career, he's been kind of a guy that walks too many guys and doesn't allow that many hits, but it's kind of been the opposite. He's been too hittable, allowing 6 home runs in the month of September, but his command numbers have been good. So he's difficult to figure out right now, man. Against the Cubs, he is pretty good in 93 at-bats, 26-10 strikeout walk ratio is not good again. Too many walks. That's what we're used to seeing out of Darvish, but he's held the Cubs to a 194 batting average and 551 OPS in his career, and I believe they've not faced him at all this year. So the Cubs are not recently familiar with him. He does do well against them generally, but he's not good on the road. Darvish is pretty old now, man. He's 39 or whatever it is, so he's definitely not in his prime at this point. He's going up against Jameson Taillon, who is a bit younger. He had a good season for the Cubs, 3.68 ERA, 1.06 whip. He was injured for a little bit not too long ago, but he came back and pitched pretty well. He's been pitching pretty well since coming back. He's been good at home, 3.05 ERA. So if you look at the home road splits, Taillon has a big advantage there. 1.54 ERA in September. Like I said, he came back in August from injury, and he's been really good since then. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every start since then, and the Cubs have won 5 of the 6 starts. 17-6 strikeout walk ratio this month. Not great, but decent. So, yeah, I mean, Taillon is pitching pretty well right now, although he faced mostly weak offenses over that entire stretch. The only really good offense he faced was Milwaukee, which was his first game back from the injury, though, and he pitched well in that one, too. Against San Diego, his numbers are mediocre and 110 at-bats, 14-4 strikeout walk ratio, 273 average, 726 OPS. I think Taillon is the more trustworthy pitcher right now, though, because he's in the better form right now, so I would lean to the Cubs in this game. 59% of tickets, 74% of the cash on them. They did drop from -121 to -111, so you are getting a price that's not too bad on the Cubs. I might go first 5 innings. I don't know, man, because San Diego's bullpen is the better of the two. The usage is pretty similar between both teams, a little bit heavier on San Diego, but I would probably go Cubs first 5 innings, but then once you get into the bullpen, San Diego might have a little bit of an edge there, so that would be my slight opinion in that one. It's not strong. Jordan, what's up, man? Thanks for coming back. Thanks for hanging out. We got the regulars, man. I'm trying to be crazier, maybe a little bit, be more funny on the show. I don't know. Maybe my opening rants are going to be better now because I get into all the technical shit, especially during baseball season. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to, be funny and be autistic at the same time. I can't do it, man. And then Red Sox, Yankees, you know what? This is the best bet segment. That was the breakdown. I didn't bring up the graphic this time. Of course, people are going to dock me for using AI graphics here. Shows laziness on my part. Let's go to the best bets. I have a best bet. The only bet of the day is going to be on this game here. Yankees, Red Sox, and it is going to be under in the first 5 innings. under 4. I do not think the Red Sox are going to win this game. Although the Yankees did drop from minus 155 to minus 152, they were up in the minus 160s earlier. 73% of tickets, 86% of the cash on the Yankees. Yankees are public, but I like the under in the first 5, man. I think this is a starting pitching matchup that can get us there. 71% of tickets on the over, 57% of cash on the under. So the money is coming in on the under in the game. Total down from 7.5 to 7.5, juice to the under. My problem with playing a full game is, of course, I don't trust the Yankees bullpen. The Yankees did use 3 relief pitchers yesterday, including their 2 closers, if you want to call it that, Williams and Bednar. Red Sox closer is available, Chapman, who pitched 2 days ago and didn't pitch yesterday, but the Red Sox did use a lot of relief pitchers, although Tolle and Kelly are probably available again tonight, but they used 4 other relief pitchers, so that's not great. Red Sox are going to be going with a lot of inexperience in the pitching here today, which is the one drawback about playing the under here is we have 2 very inexperienced pitchers. It's a battle of rookie pitchers here, but I'm going with the unfamiliarity aspect of this, man. So yes, they don't have playoff experience, but the crazy thing is both of these pitchers have never faced these opposing lineups before. As crazy as that sounds, especially on the Yankees side, because Schlittler has been around for a bit. You'd think that he would have faced the Red Sox by now, but I'm pretty sure he has not. So we'll get to that in a second. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. Of course, the Red Sox fucking blew it last night. I mean, they never had the lead, but they had the chance to take the lead in the top of the 8th. Runner on second, nobody out. You got to score that fucking run. And then 2 outs, no excuse for not trying to come home on that. Eaton, again, he should have blown right past the signal. The third base coach, if the third base coach was telling him to hold up, he should have flipped him off. No way. You're going home, man. It's fucking ridiculous. This is the fucking wild card series. You're the underdog. You're on the road. You got to fucking try to score that run. Put the pressure on the Yankees. Take the lead there. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So the Red Sox, I don't think they're going to win this game, like I said, but I think the better way to play it is the under first 5, obviously. Yankees have the better offense. We know that. As far as the starting pitching, Connolly early pitching for the Red Sox. Young dude, man. He's actually older than Peyton Tolle, though. Which, you look at the 2. Peyton Tolle looks like his father. Peyton Tolle looks like he's 40 years old, and Connolly Early looks like he's 20. But Connolly Early is actually a few months older than Peyton Tolle, which is ridiculous. Early was good this season, but he has a very limited amount of major league experience. 2.33 ERA, 1.09 WHIP for him. Good numbers. Good on the road as well with a 2 ERA on the road, which is a bit more impressive because his 2 road games are against the A's and Tampa, the 2 worst stadiums to pitch in the majors, 2 temporary stadiums, a AAA stadium and a spring training stadium, which, by the way, the fact that he pitched at Tampa, that might help prepare him for this because that's Steinbrenner Field and the dimensions are the same as Yankee Stadium, basically, or similar to it. So that might help him, although, yes, that was his worst start. He went 4 innings, gave up 2 earned runs in that one. But overall, he's been very good. I mean, he's gone at least 5 innings in all the other 3 outings against good offenses, too. The A's and Detroit there. Detroit, decent offense at the very least. He's given up 2 or fewer earned runs in all 4 of his starts. A really nice 29-4 strikeout walk ratio. His strikeout rate is quite high. Early, I mean, he's kind of ramped his stuff up, man. He's started to throw a little bit harder with his fastball, where he can reach the upper 90s now with his fastball. Has a nice mix of pitches. A couple of his off-speed pitches really are like huge strikeout potential pitches. And of course, the Yankees have never faced him before. So I think that's going to be an advantage to a talented pitcher like this. The only question is, are the nerves going to get to him, man? That's what that's the worry in this game is, are these pitchers going to be nervous here on this stage where they've never pitched before? Hopefully not. Hopefully they can come out and do it, man, because I'm going to weigh the fact that the pitchers are unfamiliar to the hitters. I'm going to weigh that above everything else, man. And the fact that both of these pitchers are very talented. So I think we can get there with this under, man. A playoff environment like this, everybody's focused. Most of these games tend to be lower scoring, so except for the Dodgers games. I think every game in the wild card series has been an under except for the Dodgers games. But yeah, I like this one. Of course, also the public is only going to be playing overs in games with Red Sox Yankees, even though both games in the series have gone under on the full game, like by a significant amount too. But yeah, the public sees Red Sox Yankees. They know both teams can hit, and they go over. But we're going to go under here, man. And then Cam Schlittler pitching for the Yankees. He has more experience than Early because he was brought into the majors earlier this season than Early was. Schlittler pitched well, 2.96 ERA, 1.22 whip. A little bit worse at home, 3.12 ERA, but still good. It's a hitter-friendly park. The Yankees won his last 4 outings of the season. Granted, the last 3 were against Minnesota and Baltimore, 2 bad teams, but he had a 3.65 ERA in September, 30-11 strikeout walk ratio. He had one really bad start where he got lit up by Toronto, but other than that, he's been good. That was Toronto's second time facing him, too, so keep that in mind. His worst start was one where he didn't have the unfamiliarity edge anymore because Toronto had just seen him. Although he did just face Baltimore twice in a row, and he actually did better the second start. So the unfamiliarity edge wasn't really a thing against Baltimore because they couldn't hit him either time. But he has it here against the Red Sox because even though Schlittler pitched a decent chunk of the season, he never faced the Red Sox. So the Red Sox are coming into this never having faced him before. So you got 2 young, talented pitchers that are probably going to be part of these starting pitching rotations for a while. In their first matchup in this rivalry against each other, I think it's an advantage to both pitchers here, man. Again, I always say these hitters, takes them a little while to figure out these young pitchers that they haven't faced before. So I think it sets up for the under in the first 5, man. That's going to be the play there. Assad, the dictator, yeah. Javier Assad, man, he's probably going to be coming out of the bullpen for the Cubs. I don't think he's in their starting rotation for the playoffs. I think he's in their bullpen. So he's going to be kind of like a long relief type of guy for the most part. Rio, what's up, man? Yeah, I would be nervous about it. I am extremely nervous about it. I think Schlittler is the less likely to be he's the less likely of the two to have the nerves get to him here because even though neither of these pitchers have pitched in the postseason before, they're both rookies. Schlittler has pitched more games at this point. So, yeah, that's what worries me, although Early has been good. I think Early's going to be a good pitcher, man, but we got to worry about this. This could be a Red Sox game where it's going to be Early and then Tolle, and I think the Yankees probably have only seen Tolle in his relief appearances so far, too, so I don't know. But the Red Sox don't have many bullpen arms that they can use in this game. They can use Chapman, though, so the Red Sox need to somehow have the lead in this game late, and I don't know if they can do it, man. I think they're going to lose. Let's go to football. Whoops. My mistake as I removed the screen there. Football, we got one college football game, which is basically as ugly as it gets. We got a Conference USA game between Sam Houston. Not just one man, Sam Houston, one man who's been dead for centuries. Sam Houston State against New Mexico State. This game, if you look at this on the surface, it's like, what is this line? Because Sam Houston is the road team and they're 0-4. New Mexico State is at home and they're 2-2. And then you look at the line in this game, and Sam Houston's a favorite. They're up from -1.5 to -2. How can an 0-4 team be a favorite on the road? Well, I mean, obviously, I talk about this. When something doesn't smell right as far as like looking at the team's records, and then you see what the odds are, and the odds makers are telling you something completely different. The odds makers are not throwing money away here. So if I was going to play this game, I think I would play the Sam Houston side here. I mean, there's a reason why an 0-4 team is favored on the road. The odds makers are telling you they're actually the better of these two teams. 77% of tickets, 87% of the cash on New Mexico State, though. So the money is kind of coming into New Mexico State right now. There's no way that I would want to have money on this game, but I would lean to Sam Houston. And then I did hear some expert opinions on the over, but I'm not so sure about that. The total did go up a little bit to 53.5 juice to the over. 60% of tickets on the over, but only 53% of the cash on the over. Now, the reasoning that I heard for the over was basically that Sam Houston is a passing team now, which I know I said earlier this season, I thought they were a running team because that's what they were last year. They still have their same quarterback from last year, Hunter Watson, who's a dual threat quarterback. Sam Houston, they went 10-3 last year, and they made a bowl, but they overperformed, in my opinion. I think they were pretty new to FBS, too, and I think they might have petitioned the NCAA to get into a bowl, and I think they might have won the bowl, too. So it would have been their first, I think their first bowl win in program history. Big stuff. But I don't think Sam Houston is anywhere near as good as that. They have a new coach this year, though, so they're trying to, use some of the same personnel, although I think they had a lot of turnover, too, and they're turning it into a more pass-heavy offense. But the reasoning I heard for the over was that Sam Houston throws the ball. New Mexico State has a really bad pass defense. So what Sam Houston is trying to do on offense matches up against New Mexico State's defensive weakness. And then the same thing is the case on the other side. New Mexico State, they basically all they do is throw the ball, and Sam Houston is not good at defending the pass either. So that was the reason I saw for the over. But my problem with that is that, yeah, okay, but that means both these offenses are one-dimensional, though. So if you're on defense and you know that your opponent is just going to be throwing the ball, even if that's your defensive weakness, if you can key on the pass because you know that's what the defense is going to do, you can at least predict it a little bit more, and you could potentially play better defense in that regard, right? Because you at least kind of know what to expect. So that might actually help your defense be a little bit better than it would be otherwise. So that's the issue I have with that. Although these are two shit teams, so it does kind of look like it's a situation where you look at these two teams and think these teams can't score. So it seems like the public might kind of have a tendency to want to go under in this game, but they're not. As you can see, 60% of tickets at least are on the over. But again, I think the most misleading part of this is the fact that you have an 0-4 road team being a favorite here. So I think Sam Houston is the way to go in this game if you play it. Sam Houston, they're 0-4, but they faced a difficult schedule, man. All of their losses are to winning teams, I'm pretty sure. They lost to Western Kentucky, who's already 2-0 in this conference and 4-1 overall. UNLV, even though UNLV had all that turnover, Dan Mullen, whatever. I don't think UNLV is that good, but they're still a winning team right now. I think they're 4-1 or something like that. So they're a winning team. And then Sam Houston had to go to Hawaii, which is a place that I don't think they'd ever played in Hawaii before. So that is just a weird trip to have to make. And they lost that game. That's understandable as well. And they lost to Texas last week. I mean, you're going to blame them for that? I mean, I know they got killed 55-0, but nobody expected them to match up against Texas. I mean, that's a total mismatch of a game. What can you do? Now, the one difficult thing for Sam Houston is this is a third straight road game, and they had to go to Hawaii for the first one, although I think they did have a bye in there. Let me just make sure of that. I'm pretty sure they had a bye. They did. After they went to Hawaii, they had a bye, which makes sense. So the schedule makers were kind to them in that regard. They could come back from Hawaii and get a bye to have that travel not hurt them as much. So that at least kind of breaks it up a little bit. But their schedule has not been easy at all, man. They've faced all winning teams, and this is going to be their fourth road game in the first 5 games that they play. So, yeah, I mean, it is kind of a spot that I still wouldn't want to play them. But they're better than their record looks right now because they've faced a difficult schedule. New Mexico State has not faced a difficult schedule. They beat Bryant, who's an FCS team. They beat Tulsa barely, and we know Tulsa's not that good, even though they beat Oklahoma State. I mean, Oklahoma State fired their coach, so that's how well Oklahoma State's doing. New Mexico, and I think Oklahoma State's winless, too. New Mexico State, then they lost pretty badly at Louisiana Tech, who I think is a decent team. And then they lost last week against their in-state rival, New Mexico, who I don't think is really that good. So that's not really that great, that loss at New Mexico. So New Mexico State, I don't think is really particularly good. As the odds makers are telling you, Sam Houston is the better of the two teams. So that is the way that I would go there. And then we have an NFL game, which is a pretty good divisional battle between the 49ers and the Rams. And then you look at this number, like, what the fuck? The Rams opened a 3-point favorite, and now they're a 9-point favorite, which I think this line has gone way too far. It was like 6.5 last night, I'm pretty sure, and now it's 9. I mean, this is just... The line has gotten so out of control, man. I mean, it's just absolutely outrageous what's happening with this line. 72% of tickets and cash on the Rams. The Rams are public. Obviously, the reason why the Rams are favored by as much as they are is because of injuries to the 49ers. Brock Purdy is out again. He actually played last week, so I Didn't realize that he was going to play last week, although I still was correct on my lean to the Jaguars last week. But it wound up becoming a reverse injured player spot for the 49ers because, I talk about the injured player spot when you have your quarterback go down, the team steps it up in the first game without him. Then when he comes back, the team, if they've been playing well, like the 49ers, they hadn't lost until last week. The team kind of takes their foot off the gas a little bit, thinking, well, we have our quarterback back, so we can kind of breathe a sigh of relief here. And I think that might be partially what happened to the 49ers last week. That, and I think the Jaguars are actually better than people expected them to be because they were so bad last year. But with Trevor Lawrence back, even though he's not playing that well, that's still better than what they had without him, where they had Mac Jones, by the way, who hilariously is the 49ers quarterback right now. But yeah, the Jaguars, they took them a little bit by surprise. It was a decent setup for the Jaguars last week, even though they had to go to San Francisco. Jags won the game, so the 49ers, I think the 49ers are also looking ahead to this game, man, because the 49ers, they've had their schedule packed with divisional matchups, man. As you can see here, they won 2 divisional games in their first 3 games. They had to turn around off that close game against Arizona, play this out-of-conference Jacksonville team, and then they had to turn around and play the Rams on short rest on Thursday. So it was a bad spot for San Francisco. So I think that's why they lost that game. So you got to think San Francisco is going to show up in this game. They're in the injured player spot again because Mac Jones is going to be starting again. So that means you're going to get more value on the 49ers. The line is moving because Brock Purdy is injured, but the 49ers do have other injuries too. They got, I think, some offensive line injuries. They lost Bosa for the season, I think, on defense, which is a huge problem. Their record is not as good without Bosa. And on offense, they have a cluster injury situation at wide receiver right now as they're down Pearsall, although at least he didn't get shot again this time. And they're down Jawan Jennings as well. So the 49ers are depleted on offense pretty badly, although I think they do have Kittle back, I'm pretty sure at this point, and they have Christian McCaffrey is actually still there right now, obviously. I mean, not obviously, because it seems like he's always hurt, but he is there right now. So the 49ers can still do things on offense, and they still have a good coach, man. I mean, we know that Kyle Shanahan's been able to do a lot of good things with this team, so I think you're getting so many points with the 49ers here, man. It's basically just based off of what we saw last week plus the injury situation. The only way that you could possibly play this game is to take the points with the 49ers, man. I mean, you're getting a well-coached team, a team that is usually a contending team here, and you're getting 9 points with them in a divisional rivalry game. I think the 49ers are the way to look here, and it's a fairly low total. It's down to 44.5, which partially because of all the 49ers' offensive injuries. 60% of tickets on the under, though, and 51% of the cash on the over. So the public is thinking about playing the under here. I will also point out that the Rams have won 4 straight games against the 49ers. But remember last year, the 49ers, they just were a train wreck with all those injuries last year. That's part of the reason why they lost both games against the Rams last year, although I know the 49ers are injured right now too. I don't know if I really trust Mac Jones, but it is the injured player spot again now where the 49ers, they know they're without Purdy again, so they're probably going to step it up a little bit. And Mac Jones, he actually has a better QBR this season than Brock Purdy does so far. Mac Jones has fewer interceptions, so he only has 1. And I know Mac Jones sucks, but he's actually played better than Purdy so far. So I'm not really sure there's a massive drop-off. I mean, I'm not a huge Purdy fan, really. I don't think he's that great. So I don't even know if it's really that big of a drop-off to Jones. It is definitely a drop-off, but I don't know how steep it is. And the Rams, of course, they're coming off a game that they shouldn't have won, even though they did outgain the Colts. We don't want to talk about that game again because we had the Colts. We know what happened in that game. The Colts had 1 touchdown basically taken away because the receiver fumbled it into the end zone on the bullshit touchback rule. Then we had Jonathan Taylor getting what should have been a game-winning touchdown for Indy, erased by that same receiver getting called for a holding call, which seemed like it was total bullshit. I don't even think there was holding on that play. Then we're still going to get the Colts play right because all you had to do was 1 minute left in the game, basically. The Rams are going to try to get a field goal to win the game. And what happens? They score an 88-yard touchdown immediately. And by the way, something I didn't even realize, the Colts only had 10 men on the field during that play too. So the Colts didn't field their entire defense on that play either. And that's part of the reason why that happened. It's I think it might be rigged, man. It's just such bullshit. Although I think the books, I don't know if it's rigged because I think the books did want Indy to cover that game. Because the public side was the Rams in that game. So I don't know. But the Rams are coming off that game. It was a really crazy game. And San Francisco's coming off a much worse looking showing, right? So I think that's going to put the public on the Rams side too, because the public just saw the Rams beat the Colts. The Colts were 3-0, and the public saw the Rams play really well against the Eagles too. The Rams should have won that game against the Eagles, whereas the 49ers lost to the Jaguars last week. So the public is not going to want to be anywhere near the 49ers here. And yes, you could argue the 49ers has faced a weak schedule so far, although Seattle's 3-1 right now. But San Francisco faced them, New Orleans, and Arizona looks like they're not good again. So yes, the Rams have faced a more difficult schedule. They face Houston, Philadelphia, and Indy. Houston, I know they only have one win, but Houston is still a strong defensive team. So yes, the Rams have faced a more difficult schedule, but I think the spot that they're in is worse as well. And again, this is about line value. I mean, the line being 9 on this game, I don't think I need to talk about this as in detail as I am, really, but this line is just so insane. Yeah, the only way that you could do this is taking the 49ers. I still don't want to do it, though. I still don't want to make it one of my plays. It's just, this game is just, there are a lot of unpredictable elements to this game, but the value is there for the 49ers. There's no possible way you can lay the points with the Rams here. But I do have to decide if I want to use the Rams as Survivor. That's the thing, man, because I already used the Cardinals in week 2, and the Cardinals are a pretty decent Survivor play here because they're a shit team, and they're playing an even shittier team in the Titans, who might be the worst team in the NFL right now. Cardinals look like they are the best Survivor pick of the week, but I can't use them because I already used them. So I basically have to go with the Rams or the Colts, basically. I don't know what to do. And they both have other Survivor-worthy matchups in the future, too. So very difficult to figure out what I want to do here, man, with Survivor. I mean, those seem to be really the only options, unless I want to burn the Bills or the Lions. So talking Survivor a little bit here before I get out of here, because it could be the Rams tonight. I got to decide. But again, I still want to hold on to the Lions and the plus the Lions are on the road. I don't know. It's a pretty iffy spot. I don't think I really want to do it. And then the Bills, I think the Bills are in a better spot than the Lions are, but I don't want to use the Bills yet either. So I want to keep those better teams available. The other thing I'm considering is using the Saints, which we're going to talk about that on. That's a little bit of foreshadowing there. I know how insane that sounds, but I'm actually considering using the Saints in Survivor because there's never going to be another spot where you're going to use the Saints this year, man. I mean, if you can use the Saints and get away with it and survive, that gives you a leg. It's a risk that has a ton of reward because that gives you so much leeway going forward if you use the Saints, because you're never going to want to use them again. We're going to go with the 0-4 Saints in Survivor potentially, man. But that's going to be one of my plays on Sunday. So just putting that out there. Again, you know what my plays are like in the NFL, man. We go with the ugliest plays possible. But I think it's a good spot for them. Why did Lamar get hurt? You're a Ravens fan. And you have him in fantasy? Oh, man. That's not good, man. I was up against Lamar in fantasy, not this week, but the week before that, and I was able to dodge that and win anyway. I have Mahomes on my fantasy team. Mahomes has been doing pretty well for me. I mean, you get these quarterbacks that can use their legs and stuff, too, and especially when the entire offense is basically revolving around that quarterback. Mahomes, even though the Chiefs' offense isn't good, Mahomes is a pretty strong fantasy quarterback still, so I'm rolling with him. But yeah, that sucks too. Lamar Jackson is probably the top fantasy quarterback because you want fantasy quarterbacks. If you're in the way that most fantasy leagues are scored, you only get 4 points for a passing touchdown because they happen so often, but you get 6 for a rushing touchdown. So if you get a quarterback that gets you rushing touchdowns, Lamar Jackson, Hurts, Mahomes, Josh Allen, those guys have a lot of value. The guys that can use their feet to get things done, and Bo Nix as well. You actually have Bo Nix on a different fantasy team. Bo Nix hasn't been that good. He seems like he's in the sophomore slump, though, man. I don't know what his fantasy numbers look like. Lamar Jackson is probably the best fantasy quarterback. I mean, he is. So losing him is brutal. Although I think quarterbacks are worth less than running backs and wide receivers in fantasy. That's how I see it. Because the quarterbacks, I mean, you get fewer points for all the shit the quarterback does, pretty much, because that's the way that it is. Because the quarterback is constantly involved in the offense, so that's the way that it gets scored. But yeah, the Ravens. We'll talk about what's going to happen with that game come Sunday. But yeah, the Ravens 1-3 right now, and losing Lamar Jackson. Oh boy. And the Ravens are my pick to win the fucking Super Bowl this year, man. I think they're the best team in the NFL, or I did. They have a really good offense, but now Lamar Jackson's hurt, and their defense is... I thought their defense would at least be mediocre, like good enough this year, and their defense does not look good. So, I don't know, man. Bo Nix could scramble. Yeah, throw it downfield. I think he's a little bit overrated, though, to be honest. A lot of times these rookie quarterbacks, because the league hasn't figured them out yet, the rookie quarterbacks take the league by surprise, and then they take a step back the next year after the league kind of figures out what they do. Lamar, Hall of Fame. I mean, yeah, he probably should be. He's got to, finish his career off. It would be nice to see him actually, win more in the playoffs. But yeah, I think he's already headed for the Hall of Fame, probably. He's put up some really gaudy numbers. Has he won an MVP yet? He probably has, right? Because the MVP just seems to be kind of rotating through Lamar, Josh Allen, and Mahomes. I don't know if any of them have not won one yet. It might be, is it Allen that hasn't won one yet? I forget. I think Lamar Jackson won it last year. I don't remember. Ravens take some time. I mean, the Ravens are still a really, really good team. The Ravens have had a difficult, dude, they've had to face the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs so far. That is a really difficult schedule, and those are all their losses. So it's not like they're losing to bad teams here. So, yeah, the Ravens, they're going to start being better. I think the Ravens will still win their division. Like, their division is not good. So, I know the Steelers are going to be competitive again because they always are for whatever reason. Aaron Rodgers, baby. But, yeah, I don't know. All right, I got to get out of here, though, man. You think Lamar won it last year? I think that is accurate. He needs to come back. I don't think his injury is serious enough that he's going to be out for that long. Ravens need to somehow win this week without him, though. The Ravens are going to be desperate for a win, man. So that might give you a little hint as to the way that I'm looking in that game. That one's not going to be a play for me, but yeah, I mean, I think it's an injured player spot for the Ravens, and they're a desperate team at this point. The Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, baby, and Mike Tomlin, I don't know what it is, man. He gets shit on all the time because he loses in the playoffs, but look at the personnel that he's had over these past several years. He's had horrible personnel on that team, and he makes the playoffs every year, basically, and he's still never had a losing year. I still think he is one of the best coaches in the NFL. It's ridiculous. All right, man, I got to get out of here. Once again, the one play today is the Red Sox and Yankees in the night game. First 5 innings under. Pray that the Red Sox eliminate the Yankees here, man, because that's what I want. I want the Yankees out more than I care about the Red. I'm under no delusion that the Red Sox are going to go anywhere. You saw my bracket. I picked the Yankees in my bracket to win this series and beat the Blue Jays. So, but yeah, that's going to do it for me, man. We can pray. Hopefully I'm still alive by the end of tonight. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Peace, everybody. Jordan, Nate, Rio, Jeffrey, thanks for hanging out this morning, everybody. Learn to Tone on Twitter, Learn to Tone on Instagram. Like, subscribe to the channel here. I want to get more subscribers, man. Hopefully we can blow this thing up somehow. I might need to change formats a little bit, be fun here. I don't know. Hopefully my rants are helping a little bit at the beginning of the show. This long format that I do is kind of like, I don't know. Some people are into it. It's kind of what I'm into because I'm autistic, but maybe people don't. I don't know. Review on iTunes and Spotify. That helps as well. Or Apple Podcasts, I should say, and Spotify. And then Covered in Uke is my Uke channel on YouTube. And I have a Patreon, patreon.com/learntotode, with some bonus Uke content there. We're going to be doing some Halloween Uke covers this month, which, I mean, I put out an October-related one yesterday. I got to get it up on the YouTube channel, and then I'm caught up on the YouTube. Patreon, I'm a few covers behind, so I got to get that up as well. But I think that's about it for now. Yeah, thanks, guys. And I'll be back tomorrow. And then we get into the football shows tomorrow night. And, of course, the next 2 nights, tomorrow night and Saturday night, you know how I do it, man. College football, NFL. I got a few ideas for both already for plays that are probably going to happen. Hopefully the lines are still there because I give the lines out the night beforehand. Usually the lines are still okay. So hopefully we'll see. But, I mean, if you want to know, like, kind of what I'm looking at right now, I'm kind of looking at, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you guys want to be surprised at that point because I don't think the NFL lines are going to get out of control on the 2 games that I think are definitely going to be plays. You already know what one is because I just mentioned it. But, yeah, I think I'll hold off, I guess. And then college football, I still have to kind of break it down. So I have a couple ideas, but I don't know if those are going to be plays. NFL, I think I have more certainty on. And the 2 games that I like the most are not going to move, like, onto or off of some key number. I don't think so. That's going to do it, man. Oh, thank you, sir. Jeffrey, I appreciate it, man. That's going to do it for now. Have a good Thursday, everybody. Thirsty Thursday. Although I'm sober, I'm going to be drinking a lot of water and Gator Light, man. That's what I do. I have hydration. I need more hydration, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly dehydrated from talking all the time, probably. Peace, guys. Oh, you want me to save it? All right, I'll save it. That'll be Friday and Saturday nights, excuse me. All right, peace for now.